Hey, good morning, traders. Uh, just some really quick heads up here. Please like my video if you get a chance. I'm on Gumby9662C on Twitter. You can like me over there if you could, and comments below are appreciated, guys. So we are closing a week out here. We are currently trading below the 50 EMA on the SPY, a little bit more bearish on the bearish side here on the 50 EMA here, so be very mindful of that. Below the 50 EMA on the daily here, so be careful here. We want to definitely keep that on watch going forward here on the bigger screen here. Okay, doing sideways consolidation at major critical support here. It wouldn't take much to start making the move down for the entire election gap close. SPY is the only one that has not filled the election gap, so be mindful of that going forward here. Okay. Another little takeaway that I'm seeing this morning here. So this right here represents the anchored VWAP post-election. Okay, so post-election, election day is okay. This is our anchored VWAP. We're currently trading right at it here on the Qs. So pretty much indecisive here on the Qs, trying to decide whether or not we want to have any type of inventory above the election run-up, post-election run-up. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. Big takeaway this morning here on the Qs. If I zoom in here on the 30-minute now. Okay, guys. So zoom right in here real close so you can see it. So that's our anchored VWAP up here. We came up this morning already, and we have rejected back below it. Don't know what's going to happen, and we have a 50 SMA right below us here. So we're fighting between the two opposing forces. Do we want to have any bullish inventory in tech to support the thesis that the possible earnings run up here, or are we going to break down? So a very critical thing here. These pre-market ranges are really going to be a big tell this morning, a big tell. So we got two major areas that we're opposing forces here this morning here on the Qs, trying to decide whether or not which way we're going here. Okay, IWM. Okay, similar situation. We seem to be trading on the bearish side of inventory here, so be very mindful of that going forward here on IWM. Okay, and a little bit more on the bullish side here on the diamond so far this morning, acting as a major critical support here at the 423.60 here on the diamonds, suggesting we do have a little bit of support under the markets here. Okay. Okay, big takeaways that I got going on here. Starting with Apple, this is our second biggest trade, institutional trade. So the biggest trades of the day happened at 4 o'clock there Wednesday. Okay, guys, we had a large buy, which could have been company buyback on Apple, and we're currently trading below that large buy on Apple. So this has given us a post that large buy, the Apple is looking a little bit weak here. So at this critical support area in the markets. And if you look on the daily and the anchored VWAPs on Apple, that's another one. Similar to the Qs, if you look at that anchored VWAP from election, we came right down to that anchored VWAP on the election, bounced off of it yesterday. So that is currently the anchored election day anchored VWAP is currently acting as support. This to me, the pattern wise, as long as we hold Wednesday's lows, it's buy the dip. Technically a buy the dip pattern currently. So be very mindful of that, in your analysis here. Another one that did see a modest, decent here buy here was Microsoft. But this is more of a bearish chart pattern. Okay, guys. So we are below the election day. This has been acting out of the. It's been bear flagging for some time now. Okay, guys. And if you go down here on the smaller time frames, You see this really, see how we're just hugging this trend line. This to me looks more and more like more likely to break support than actually to poke up above. So be very mindful of that. We did have a slight buy, and I do want to point out we had a fairly decent buy. We're currently trading below that 4 o'clock buy here on Microsoft from Wednesday's close. So currently trading. So basically, if we get above pre-market highs, go long. Okay, this is a wedging formation. Risk reward would bode right now. Risk reward would bode if we hold the day lows to the upside. So just be very mindful here. You're looking about if you use that low there, pre-market lows as the 7 o'clock low, something like that. Yeah, you can't even use that. You'd have to go all the way down here. Uh, nah, nah, I don't like the risk reward on that either, because once you start breaking that trend line, it can get slippery real quick. No, you're below that buy, so that's a warning here. Okay, guys. Another one, the biggest buy, or the biggest order for Wednesday was a big sell, a fairly big sell. It's not in the top 100, but it was the largest trade for Wednesday, a fairly large sell in NVIDIA. So heads up on that. So we're currently trading below that like we should be. Okay. So to be very mindful here. End of the year, we had a big order in uh, a big sell order, and we're currently still trading above that. So it's not the end of the world yet. I do have an alert down here if we start breaking below that. But this here was the most bearish read for the close of Wednesday. So be very mindful. Just watch how price action develops here. We're currently fighting between the daily 50 SMA and the daily uh, 50 EMA. Okay, this is a range we're currently trading in here in the early markets. Losing the 50 SMA or the 50 EMA here, that would be really bad. So be very mindful of this. Let's keep a really close eye on this. Probably our top watch of the day. This is going to decide the fate of the market today. So definitely keep this on watch. But technically, we have not broke support here. So coming into a Friday, knowing that we are at the extremes of the predictive move models for the week, uh, not already breaking out below critical support, bias should probably lean to buy the dip. So until proven otherwise. So be very mindful of that. I wouldn't want to buy the dip on this because of that big sell on Wednesday, but that would be the bias that I would suggest going forward here. Tesla had a sell also there Friday, okay, or Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. Uh, and we're finding a resistance at I think the first or second week of December. We found resistance here on that weekly open. If you pull up your weekly charts, we had a decent sell down here. We tried to poke up above this morning. So if we were to lose uh, start going even into this wick area here, the 4 o'clock wick area here on Tesla, this could be a sell on Tesla. Heads up on that. Possible sell on Tesla. We'll see how it plays out here up below this. What's that price point? 394.95, something like that. 394.95 would be below that. We would be looking a little bit more to the bearish side on Tesla. But we did have some early dip buyers try to come in here this morning, so be very mindful of that. Okay. Other things I'm looking for, Google's looking a little frothy here, up here in nosebleed territory. We're above a very critical area. Possible resistance up here at 194.50. So, maybe we can get a rejection off that 194.50 or a break of pre-market lows. Ideally, you're looking for a break of pre-market lows. Put a little alert down here somewhere so you get alerted if it were to happen. But this is in a definite possible toppy area. Okay, so we want to if the markets start to turn south, uh, we want to be mindful that this is probably one that's probably going to get punished in that event. Okay, so bottom line is I know this is Google's already at an extreme high area, so I don't want to be trying to be a hero here of trying to buy an extreme high stock when there's a potential that we might be breaking a critical support. So heads up on that. Other ones here. I was looking at stuff. Uh, I was looking at Avgo this morning. Broadcom looked like it was potentially breaking a critical support this morning. Heads up on that. Definitely keep an eye on this. That's another one. You want to put an alert on here for a potential breakdown here on a Broadcom setting up here. Maybe it may not play out till next week, but you know it is in a frothy area. So I definitely want to keep this on watch, see if they can hold support or not. Uh, if they do, then I want to be looking to the short side if these alerts start going off here. Okay. We're not getting much love here. We came down to the 50 exponential 50 SMA on Palantir there Wednesday. Okay, I wasn't really seeing any alerts, institutional buying on my scanner. So the top, there wasn't any big buyers coming into here at this 50 exponential 50. So be very mindful of that. A lot of times people are trying to buy the dip off that 50. So be very mindful of that scenario here. Didn't really see any institutions stepping up to buy this at this price point. AMD, we're into a 4-week consolidation low. A break of this could actually, based on the weekly chart patterns, a break here, there's probably a lot of stops set up for any lower here. So be very mindful here. This could be a flash crash if, being a Friday and all, if we start taking out the pre-market lows on AMD, that could trigger a flash crash. So be very mindful of that. There could be a lot of stops set up on AMD down here if that were to happen. So I definitely want to keep that in the back of your mind here. We could be losing a 4-week consolidation low area potentially here early on AMD if that were to happen. Uh, Typically, if the markets were looking more bullish, I would be looking to buy the dip on this, but I don't think the markets are looking bullish at all. So I would be more in tone for a flash crash. We had a fairly large sell there Wednesday into the close here on Amazon. We're currently trading below that sell area. So basically that should act as a wall for today's session. Keep an eye on this 122, 222.10 area. See if that becomes a wall for trading for the entire session. Okay. Definitely want to see that develop if you're a bear based off that price action, institutional price action. I'd be watching a GameStop today for a potential reversal. We had this prior high right here. 3212 is our main trigger point. Currently still trading above it. So, if we come flashing down to that 3212 right out of the gate, want to see if that gets rejected or defended. Heads up on that going forward here. See if that's a very critical area here potentially for GameStop. And if you go on a 30-minute here, I want to mention a little squeeze going on here. You see we've got a little squeeze going on here. So, bottom line is, anytime I see a squeeze like that into a potential, this right here is our critical support area. I'm leaning more for a breakdown scenario. So let's definitely keep this one on watch as a scenario here in today's trading. We are getting a little interest in CCL this morning, so be very mindful. This is travel leisure space, and I want to point out how it's holding we're trading above the 113 SMA EMA combo. Heads up on that here on the 30 minutes. See how's it on the yeah, we're still on the daily. We're well above it. This is a bullish pattern, so be very mindful of this. We might be able to get some action here in the travel leisure space this morning if the markets hold up. Delta Airlines this morning just reported earnings. Down here 30-minute, just blew out the numbers. We're up here at the 67.50. Go back on the daily real quick. You see where that's at now, 67.50. putting us back into range highs right out of the gate this morning. So to travel and leisure space could be quite hot this morning. So definitely CCL is catching a little bit of action pre-market here, a little bit down with the rest of the market. So uh, just a heads up on that. You know, it's hard to really be too bearish to markets when you start seeing uh, discretionary spending doing moves like that here and something like, and they said it was one of the best quarters they could ever dream of. So if that tells you something, so there's a really good chance that's a continuation pattern. See this, you know, with a potential target up in the 71 or 66 now. I don't know what the expected move was, but I would say we're probably even pushing outside the expected move for the upside here. So let's check it out here real quick. Today's expected move was 565. So you're looking about yeah, you're looking about, I don't know, $6 expected move upside 61. That'd put us at 67.40. Currently playing at 67.20. Okay, so we're right at the expected move for the move to the upside. Okay, heads up on that. Okay. Bonds down here are just churning to see, you know, so far we're not catching any bid on the bonds. That's putting pressure on the markets. So bottom line, it's all about the airlines this morning. All the airlines are just smoking this morning. Heads up on that. So guys, just remember here, you know, this is the 113 SMA, EMA. I got them both on the charts here. So this is a counter trend trade if you're trading to the upside until we accept prices above, pretty much start accepting prices above pre-market highs. Okay, guys, so you've got to be very mindful of that. These are counter trend trades if you're trying to buy the dip. Counter trend trade on the Qs, counter trend trade on IWM. You know, diamonds are looking a little bit better here. So be very mindful when you're coming in this morning. The edge is to the bears until proven otherwise. So we definitely got to be mindful of that in the back of our minds here. Okay. Um, as far as you're trying to buy the dip, if you want to stick with the primary trend, CCL and Apple are the two that, you know, really stand out to me that I really would be interested if it was a buy the dip scenario to close out the week. Because there's very good chance that we could be going back to last Friday's close. You never know in this market. So they've been trying to chop us around. We're digesting in kind of like a meat grinder here. We've been in these meat grinders before. This is a current meat grinder we're in. This is the top of the range. This is the bottom of the range. We're in the middle of the range right here, right now. No edge either direction, uh, right out of the gate. So be very mindful of that. It's just a meat grinder in a bearish frame of mind. Okay. So heads up on that. Thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you in the trading rooms.